I've always wondered to myself, is there something that helps the entrepreneurs that succeed that they have, which other entrepreneurs don't? Is it something they know? Is it how they run their businesses? Is it the people they hire? Is it where they went to school? Is it their socialization, their background, their education, their mental spaces? What is it that makes the entrepreneur succeed? Welcome to my masterclasses, where I share with you everything you need to know about how to become a high-growth, high-scale entrepreneur. Warning, this is the High Performance Zone. Let's start with you, sir. They need to hear you. Would you use the mic? Thanks, Enrico.
I'm Enrico Robinson. I'm the owner of a clothing label and a clothing manufacturing panel called Entrepreneurship. My question to you, sir, is if I wanted to boost sales, right, and I use social media platforms and like word of mouth, and it's going very slow, wouldn't it then be better for me to like just go straight to a distribution agent and then have them deal with all of that stuff to grow sales and then scaling much faster?
It's a great question. It's a great question. And it's just, I suppose it's just a question about what your business is, right? Are you a production house? Are you a production house, a branding house, or a distribution house? Because those are different businesses. That I make the clothing doesn't mean I know how to build the brand of the clothes. That I brand the clothes doesn't mean I know how to get them into 100 stores to sell them. We do this in other masterclasses. I think it's available online. Go and watch it. But you got to try and get yourself into a value chain that looks something like this. So what you're talking about is, here's Vusi, smile, and he's buying your item of clothing for $100, right? You're somewhere here with a tiny little factory where you're making said item of clothing. This is a box. Okay? But once you've made the item of clothing, you've got to sell them to a group of people here, retailers, so that Vusi can go to the retail store and buy it. Somewhere in the middle, you've got to brand this item so that when I go to the store, I know what to look for. Yeah? But the real question for you is the item of clothing. Let's imagine you're making a jersey. What does it take to make a jersey? Say again? Sorry? Yeah, what else? Machinery, right. What else? Labor, right? Okay. Let's just double click on this. What does it take to make wool? Yes. Meh. Sheep. What does it take to make sheep? Sorry? Yeah, a farm. So if you go to source in your business, if there's no farmer with no sheep, there's no wool, if there's no wool, there's no jersey, which means you can't manufacture it, you can't brand it, and you can't sell it. So the reason why many entrepreneurs who try to scale businesses find it very difficult is because you're here. You all create a nice Instagram account with a jersey, you put a brand on it, and you're here. And you'd create 100,000 followers for yourself on Instagram. But you're wondering why you can't compete with a large retailer. The reason you can't compete with a large retailer is because you have to buy from exactly the same place that manufactures it as they do. Yeah? And whereas you are buying a quantity of 10,000 of these jerseys, the large retailer has 200 stores, each which buy 10,000, and so they get a better price, and you cannot compete with them because they're buying 2 million at a time. So even though you think you make a better quality product, you probably don't. And even though you think you have a better quality product, you don't. You just happen to be competing in a very commoditized space with somebody who has much more muscle than you do. And that's why I said to you earlier, we have not transformed anything, because what we tried to do is we transformed here rather than transform at source. You have to go to source if you want to transform. Does it make sense? You got to go up your value chain. So I said this to all entrepreneurs, go up the value chain. If you really want to make money in your business, go up the value chain. So you said you manufacture? Great. Then the next thing I would do is I'd say to yourself, make sure that you own the manufacturing facility of your business. That way, seasonal or not, if trends change or anything changes, you make the decision tomorrow about what you're making. See, I see a lot of these guys who buy T-shirts from Mr. Price and remove the thing and put a brand on it. That's not entrepreneurship, guys. Right. So get into the business that makes the t-shirt, then brand it, then sell it, because then you control the value chain. If tomorrow customers decide they don't want t-shirts and they want bracelets, you can change the production system because you have the value chain. Any of you here who've ever gotten a tender to do either a school feeding scheme or like school uniform know that what happens is you have to go to the same CMT supplier because they got into that value chain, they understood it. Question for you is first, try to understand your value chain. Second, make sure you are clear on where you are good. Because you could be a great branding house. You could be a Lululemon. Lululemon, by the way, changed the whole game of sportswear. The reason, ladies, you're all wearing these tights now when you work out, you remember 5 years ago you weren't wearing that? It's because Lululemon created the first tight that was sweat absorbing using bamboo material. And they completely disintermediated and disrupted the business of Adidas, Reebok, and Nike. Now, in response, Adidas, Reebok, and Nike went and got their own material, and they're doing the same thing, but Lululemon led the charge. The business of Lululemon, their disruption model, wasn't that they created this innovative material, it's that they knew how to brand it and sell it. Because if you don't brand it and sell it, it goes nowhere. Make sense? You just got to decide where you're good. And whatever you're good at, that's where you got to focus your attention, man. Sir.
Hello. So my name is Lucas.
A white guy. Camera, just get him, grab it. Grab him and hold him. Grab him and hold him.
So 3 years ago, I started a manufacturing business. Like at the time, like in the beginning, it was pretty cool. Like easy, like you have no income, you're just spending the money, so your cash flow is like very like straightforward, like kind of going down. And obviously, then later, you know, you start employing people, and you start kind of growing, and it's like everything is kind of slowly starting to get out of your hands. Like you start running like a huge spreadsheet of what's going where, but no, in the end of it, it doesn't matter how much time you spend, you're still gonna miss something, and then you're gonna end up like you'll pay the wrong guy. Not that you're not supposed to pay him, but you spend your money.
Got you.
So kind of like keep on kind of looking for an answer because I pretty much refuse to believe that in 2019 there's no system or approach how to manage your cash flow like in a positive way without. I understand that you're still gonna spend like some hours, you know, looking into that and trying to figure it out. But like it's still like it must be like some sort of a fundamental approach how you go about it. Like the answer shouldn't be like I need to hire a financial manager for $50,000 a month because it's like I just don't believe that that's the way. And that's the thing. I don't know. Like it's just like I end up like spending literally like I pay the wrong guy. Not that I don't want to pay.
I know exactly what you're saying. No, I know exactly what you're saying.
And it's like I paid him, and then it's like let's see my main account. You know, whenever like I buy like the main supplier that without who I cannot go ahead. You know, like it says okay, you need to pay for this, or we don't do anything. And then you think like that, like I shouldn't pay for that exhibition. That exhibition can wait for 2 years until they send it to the lawyer.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like you know the reality, like you know. That you know you kind of like my question is like how do you manage the cash flow? Like it's a simple type of thing, but it's like at times it seems like it's almost like you need to be an artist, which I don't know. You just have to be like I don't know.
Yeah, that's a great question. Lucas, is it or Luke? Lucas. It's a great question. So guys, I'll tell you very quickly the reports I look at, and maybe that'll help you guys kind of get a sense of how to answer Lucas's question. And these are not any person who has done, you know, accounting 101 at school. So I get 3 reports every Monday. First report I get from my CFO is a debtors age analysis. Tells me how much money my customers owe me, and how much money we're collecting. Then I get the same for creditors, right? Tells me how much money I've got to pay and to who, right? Then I get a running 6-week cash flow forecast. This changes every single 6 weeks because it's a running forecast. So every single 6 weeks we press refresh. Who's paid us? Who has to pay us? What does our cash flow for the next 6 weeks look like? All of these I get as reports. I don't do them. Your question was, how do I do it without a person? My answer is you can't. Nor should you want to. You shouldn't want to do it without a person. I would say to you, try and get somebody in the business, even if it's a day a week, who can volunteer that expertise and that time for you because, and this is so important, Mark Zuckerberg wears the same clothes every day. Do you know why?
He doesn't have time.
Say again?
He doesn't have time to think about what
Yeah, he doesn't want to waste his energy on small decisions. He actually said that. He said that's why he wears exactly the same color shirt, same color jeans. A friend of mine, Vinny, does the same thing. He sent me a picture of his wardrobe. I was like, what the hell? Picture of his wardrobe. I'm like, you have the same jeans, but it's like 20 of them. He says, yeah, because I just want to wear the same thing every day. That's not me, but the point is they are judicious about where they spend their time and energy, right? Because the stress, time, and energy it costs you, and I've done it before, trust me, when you've paid a supplier that you could have waited 3 months to pay, whereas this one needed the money now, that cost and energy when you have to manage this is actually not worth it. You just rather want to get a person in to go, pay him, don't pay him, and I'll handle these things. The other thing is, when the supplier is phoning you and going, if you don't pay me, I'm going to send you a summons, you don't want to take that call. You want somebody else to take that call. Yeah? So put a person there. Put a person between you and the supplier. Give you guys a tiny little secret. Here's how you succeed. Always be the good guy. So customer comes and says, you know, I really want to buy and I don't have the budget. You go, you know what I do? I go, I don't want, I'll talk to my sales team. I'll sort it out for you. Then I go to the sales team. Sales team, he wants to buy. Make sure he pays the full amount. And my sales team, they'll tell you, I tee them up all the time. Yeah? And then what happens is they'll negotiate and haggle, etc., etc. But what's going to happen is he's going to pay me the full price. Then when I show up, he goes, you know, they charge me, and I go, serious? Ah, unbelievable. I mean, but next time. Ah, no, next time I'll do. I mean, like, guys, if you're in a small business or you've ever had relatives phone you and ask you for a favor? Or friends, you know, can you just don't want to take those calls. I don't take sales calls. I can't be taking sales calls. Because people are going to ask me for the thing, and if I do it because my heart wants to do it, I'm not a bad business person because I'm killing my business. So you've got to find a way of professionalizing it and externalizing the decision from you. That's what you got to put people there. Just put people there. You want to put together an inquiry, you go to the My Growth Fund website right now. When you inquire, there's no person you're calling, it's online. Right? So you want to put together an inquiry, it goes online, it goes straight through to the sales team handles it. I only get involved when it's a high-value decision point. That's when I get involved. Must be high value, must be worth my time, because my time's worth a lot of money, and it must be a decision point. I don't want to be haggling over process. Sort out the process. When there's a decision to be made, I get called in. You know, when a potential client's CEO wants to understand our value proposition, then I go. I'm not meeting with the ED office and the transformation office. That's not where I'm effective. So you get people to do that. Okay. Try this, guys. Just around you, always. The three things I'm gonna recommend for you. You get people around. Sales and marketing. Get one key core person to do it. Yeah. Finance. One key core person to do it. HR and IR. One key core person to do it. You don't want to be sitting at the CCMA listening to the cases about how you fired someone wrong. Externalize it, because even though you can do it, doesn't mean you should do it. It's a low value, no decision point activity. High value, decision point. High value, decision point. Just take your day and write down all the activities you do from 8 to 9, 9 to 10, and watch the stuff you're doing and ask yourself, which of these is high value and decision point? If it's not high value and it's not a decision point, then please understand that you are now in the realm of a job. You're not delivering the thing. You're the dentist pulling the tooth. What I really want to focus on if I'm running a dentistry business is how do I get my brand to be like Specsavers, where anybody who's looking for glasses thinks about us. That's high value decision point. Do I pull the tooth in after 5 minutes of the anesthetic? Come on, I can hire somebody for that. Okay, don't be afraid to scale. Put people around you, especially the stuff that's, a lot of the stuff that ties you down. It's just the everyday remedial stuff. I get 400 emails a day. Anyone here? A lady came to me and said, Vusa, I sent you an email and you replied. She told me the email. The reply was a standard response. She sent an email. The email was, hi, Vusi, my name is so-and-so, and I want to get into the speaking business. Please mentor me. I get 400 emails a day. True story, I'm not lying. My emails were cleared yesterday. I'll show you my phone after this. Yeah, it's probably on 260 something today, and it's a Saturday. I get 400 a day, okay? And of those, maybe 50 of them are people who want to be speakers, etc., who want me to help them. There's a brand problem here. If I don't respond, I'm just the DICK who doesn't listen to people and is arrogant, right? So I don't want to do that. But I also can't spend time in it. It's low value, no decision point. So we created a standardized response, and the standardized response is true. It's not a lie. I'm busy. I've got stuff I'm doing. Here are my recommendations. Contact these people. This is what they'll help you with. Best of luck to you. And the recommendations, I give them because I've thought about it. You want to become a speaker? What do you need? You need an agency. There's 5 in the country. Unique Speaker Bureau, Famous Faces, Speakers Inc., etc. Go contact them. Ask them, not me. They control the market of how customers buy, not me. I want to shadow Vusi on how to speak. Please don't come to me. Go to the PSASA, Professional Speakers Association of South Africa. Join it. They have meetings every single month, and speakers, they meet and talk about their businesses. You get a lot more value than coming to spend a day with me. Make sense? So I've automated that response because I can't reply to 80 emails like that every day. Just be judicious with your time. Be judicious with your time. You said the thing, last thing I wanted to just touch on, you said the thing about working hard. You're like, I like working hard, etc., etc. Working hard is like really cool, really romantic, but it's also a lie. Like there is a difference between working hard and enslaving yourself. I know it because I've done it. I've actually suffered a burnout before, so I know what I'm talking about. A burnout, by the way, mine got so bad, I couldn't wake up. My eyes opened, and my body was just like, you're not going anywhere today. But physiologically, I couldn't move. I couldn't wake up. Just a complete shutdown and a burnout. A friend of mine, Delphine, said it would happen, and it did happen. There are people who end up in hospital because of burnouts, where your body just shuts down. And the reason it's shutting down is because you're spending your time on things you just shouldn't be spending your time on. This event, quickly, you know, there's social media running at this event, right? So the Capita guys are streaming. My MGF team was streaming it. And then I went when we were taking the lunch and I checked and somebody said, why are you streaming this event in 2 different channels? It's confusing. I'm not running social media, right? So what do? I just said to the social media team, rather than stream the event, just tweet. So they'll put out the tweets, the guys here are streaming it. Why am I not doing it? Low value, no decision point. Put people around it. Yeah? Don't be the cashier in your own spaza shop, my guy. Each and every single entrepreneur that comes to these masterclasses, that trusts us with their story, their opportunity, their struggles, we really appreciate it. We'll hope that you guys are learning about your business and about yourself as much as we're learning too. Cheers.